Hang on, big world. It's KJ Cool here. Remember, this is the fake news where we do a little research. I mean, it's just our opinions, isn't it, guys? Gosh, let's go.
Guess who's going to jail tonight? Guess who's going to jail tonight?
Travis Scott's disastrous Astroworld tragedy was an accumulation of so many problems that all hit at once. It wasn't just one thing, in my opinion. There was crowd surging, there was weird music that made people feel sick, there was understaffed security and medics, like the list just goes on and on and on. But who's the boss of it all? Who do you look at as the boss? Is it the event organizer or is it Travis Scott? I mean, he's the one on stage. He's the one with the mic. He's the one that can say, hey, I'm not going to start singing again until you all calm the F down. I mean, I'm sure everybody here has been at a concert where the performer will say, everyone needs to stop. People are getting crushed at the front. I need everybody to take 2 steps back. I've been at one. I've been at one with, I think it was like maybe 10,000 people. And yeah, I was at the front and I was getting squashed. But because I'm pretty strong, I'm not like a little girl, I was okay, but my boyfriend had to hold me up. Like, he had to hold the back of my shirt so I didn't get sucked under. So it happens, and it's not until you've experienced something like that you realize how scary it is. I mean, back years ago, I was at a huge festival like Astroworld. I think it was 40,000 people, and I was in a crowd surge, and man, they are scary as, because it is like a fluid movement of the crowd. Like, you cannot go where you want to go. Like, my feet did not touch the ground for about 10 minutes and I was just moving like in this human fluid movement, and yeah, it was bloody scary, and I lost every single friend I was with that day. We all just went off in crazy different directions, and not small distances, huge distances. You just get sucked in different, man, it's so hard to explain, but I'm going to show you this clip of Oasis. They had a concert here in 2005, and apparently now this crowd surge in particular is studied to work out how they happen and how to not let them happen. So this is 2005. So stuff like this just shouldn't be happening anymore, buddy. Now, the crowd surge was one thing, but I actually feel that this music that Travis was playing affected people. And it affected people to panic, pass out. I'm going to get into that in my second part, but let's just have a quick look here at the Oasis crowd surge. Now, there's at least 100,000 people here, and they have stopped the show. So Mr. Policeman from Houston saying, oh, you can't stop a show when there's 50,000 people. Well, what are you talking about, man? Oasis did, and a lot of people that like Oasis are pretty fired up. I mean, Oasis is fired up. It's not like they're just, seeing some soft band like Adele or something. Like, they're at an Oasis concert, and they did stop it. Nobody died, but people were getting freaking crushed to F. Check it. So Liam and Noel have stopped the concert because this crowd surge has got out of control. Can you see it? They're moving. It's just moving like water. I can't quite fathom it. Like, it really is crazy, because you can see the people at the front get so pushed up to the barrier that then they push back, and it's just water. See? Human water. Oh my God. So this shit would have been happening at the Travis Scott concert. Added problem is Travis Scott loves embrace madness, and he makes people go rage. Look at that crowd, man. Let's rage. Let's get crazy. So he should have been seeing that. I don't believe one word he says when he says he didn't see it, because these guys are seeing it. Like, don't know what you're talking about, Travis, but the thing is, you freaking saw it. It is a movement of thousands upon thousands of people all moving like water. So the crowd surge was one of the major things that killed people at his concert. Here is an aerial view of it, which is even more amazing, because you just see it. It's just writhing around. Like, man, so many people were getting squashed. Thankfully, nobody died in this concert. There has been previous times that people have died, like in the 70s, the Who concert. There's different concerts where people have died, but most performers stop it before it gets to that point, whereas Travis did not. He was actually, the thing that has disturbed me the most is when he's just up on that big pedestal and he's watching people being carried out like just limp bodies, and then there's at least 3 people getting CPR on the ground, and he is staring down at them going, yeah. Like, what the hell is that, dude? Who does that? I don't reckon Travis is ever going to be a performer again because too much went wrong, man. And I know you're like, the event organizers should have said something. The bloody cops should have said something. The police, well, you can blame communication being broken, okay? But your eyes... You're on the stage. You're the people they're wanting to see. Travis Scott. Not all the other performers throughout the day didn't cause this. Now, you are the one that can say everyone needs to calm the fluff down, take some steps back, and really get a hold of themselves. So the next point that I want to talk about is that a lot of people were freaking out about this low bass noise that was just going all day in between the concerts. And the one that Travis Scott, just before he came on, it was just playing this really low but loud bass, like weird sound. And a lot of people were saying it was making him feel sick. Now that is not drugs or alcohol, because 1 in 100 people have this extreme sensitivity to their ears. That I'm going to read you this little article about how the bone is not covering the eardrum as well as it should. So you got 50,000 people there. 1 in 100 have got this problem. That's 500 people. And the results of this is fainting, vomiting, feeling completely disorientated. You don't know whether you're up or down. And I must admit, I'm actually one of those people that is very sensitive to loud bass. I have walked out of many a concert in feeling like I'm either going to faint or vomit. I didn't know that this was an actual thing. I thought everyone felt this, but obviously not. But I have definitely walked out of so many because I know that feeling. It's like, it makes you feel really dizzy and you feel really out of it, and you can be completely sober. So you got people dropping and fainting. Well, yeah, they're the ones that are probably going to get crushed, and they're probably a part of that 1 in 500 people. Maybe people need to understand science a little bit more in huge crowds. If I can look this shit up, so can you guys. Anyway, let's look at what this guy says about the crazy bass and sounds that can affect you, and I'll be right back.
Infrasound is that it tends to make people uneasy the longer they listen to it. There's just something about it that doesn't seem normal. Also, if it's played loud enough, it does affect our inner ear, and that's why a lot of people report feeling dizzy after listening to it. Yeah. This stuff is no joke. And in fact, during an experimental infrasonic concert in the UK in 2003, test subjects were exposed to a 17 hertz tone during 2 pieces of music. And according to the study, the mere presence of that tone made about 22% of the audience feel anxious, uneasy, sad, nervous, fearful, dizzy, and overall very uncomfortable.
So here's this medical journal article talking about this scientist that found this problem in 1929. I mean, come on, man. Inner ear balance and hearing, it's big. It causes a lot of problems in the body. As it says, 1 in 100 have a congenital inner ear condition known as semicircular canal descents. And it's a thinning of the bone of the inner ear, and the response of loud music or low bass or sirens, all different sounds affect this. This is not just witchcraft. This is actually called science, and this has been known since 1929. So Travis and all his cronies, it's 2021. How come you guys didn't know about this shit? But it states that they very much feel like they are drunk, and they get dizzy and nauseous, and they often lose their balance. Wow, that's probably what happened, because they said people were just falling over. And I've actually got coming up in the next clip a girl that experienced this 3 separate times during the day. So she obviously has this congenital birth defect. A lot of us don't know we've got it. I didn't until I started looking into all these people saying they felt sick from the music and they felt an ominous feel all day. And this is where these people come in saying that it was a satanic ritual and demons were there. I don't believe any of that, because in science it states that having this music play all day like this makes people feel irritable and it makes people feel uneasy. And they're the people that aren't getting completely affected by the sound. Like, I have walked out of a concert that was so loud and I have actually vomited. Guess what, Travis? This ain't anything new. And whoever was doing the sound for your concert, I'm sure they knew that playing that shit all day is gonna affect people. And to think, he wants rage at his concerts. So it kind of makes sense that they're playing this weird sound all day to make people feel irritable, uneasy, and so when he starts, the rage comes out. Well, it definitely worked, and I'm serious when I say this. Maybe the sound people need to be looked at, because they 110% would have known that this is the case. And, you think about that poor little darling boy, Ezra, dying, and his dad had him on his shoulders, and his dad just passed out. So he could have been one of the ones that had that, congenital birth defect in his ears. This is why it's so scary, and this is why I believe there's so many components of what went wrong at this concert. And in every department, there was failure from the top to the bottom. Not just, that particular department failed. No, every single department failed. I don't know why all of a sudden in this concert, but it actually did. And this is where all these fatalities occurred. Now have a quick listen here to a girl. She's a very young girl. It's probably one of her first concerts, and she felt this unbelievable feeling, and she was fainting, which is the end cause of this dizziness and crazy resonance in the ear.
Keeps getting taken down because I'm cussing, so I'm not gonna cuss. But anyways, I want to talk about this TikTok. Okay, I don't really agree with the whole devil thing, but something about how he talks about the vibes were different this Astroworld, and in the comments, everyone was talking about the frequency of the music they were playing in between sets, and that clicked in my head. Basically, I made another TikTok talking about what happened with me passing out wise, but more specifically after Roddy Ricch, I was fine, and they started playing. They usually have DJs in between sets at festivals, but they started playing this weird bass, this just repetitive bass noise and nothing else. And right when this thing started playing, I was like, what is this? It was hurting my ears. But then I instantly got sick and I passed out on the floor. And I even told my friend before I passed out, I was like, I'm lightheaded. And then I was like, is this noise bothering you too? And then I passed out, woke up later. People were shoving drinks down my throat. They're like, are you dehydrated? Are you dehydrated? I'm like, no, get away from me. And then we go to Travis's set, we skip Lil Baby and SZA, and then I stand up because people start coming over there, and this sound starts playing again at Travis's stage, but it's way more intensified, and I start passing out again. And I wake up and I'm freaking out. I'm bawling my eyes out, trying to call and text my mom to come get me. I'm like, help me. Nothing's going through. I'm freaking out. I couldn't even, this was through 2 hours before Travis was getting on, and I still couldn't get out of Travis's stage. That's how many people were over there. It was insane. The fact that there were fences kind of by Travis's stage, keeping people confined, that the only way out was to go against everyone. It was impossible to get out of there. It was insane. And then people were passed out all day. It was just weird. It was weird. I've never been to a festival like that. And it was cold. People passed out from dehydration, drugs, heat exhaustion. But it was a cold day. Heat exhaustion isn't out of it. And I've never seen this many people passed out. A couple more things that were weird. There was no exit. To get out, you had to go through the gates you came in, go through the COVID scanning, and go through the parking lot, and then you couldn't go down any of the closed streets. It was the longest way to exit. God forbid if there would have been a mass, you know what I'm talking about, I don't want to, it would have been terrible. There was no way to get out of here.
There you go. You can watch so many first-hand accounts about the day on TikTok, Insta, wherever people have uploaded stuff. And they all talk about this uneasy feeling that they had. And a lot of them do talk about passing out, vomiting, panicking, wanting to get out. So I think not many people have focused on how sound affects people in a concert that loud, but I really think it's one area that needs to be looked at. And I'm getting a bit over everyone saying it was a satanic, demonic ritual. I mean, come on, guys. Let's work with science first, because I don't believe it was a satanic ritual. In saying that, you're saying that other forces were involved when actually it was humans that failed, not other forces that made it happen. It was humans, and humans in all the areas of the production. The one area which I think needs to be looked at a little bit more, it is the sound and how it affects humans. I mean, come on. Sounds affect all species, humans, all of us. So I just wanted to shine a light on, yes, the crowd surged is what actually killed people, but why did it surge? And why was it so intense? There is thousands of concerts every year, huge ones like this, and this stuff doesn't happen. So something happened that was different, and hopefully they will look completely into it and solve what it is. But my personal thought is the sound affected people, because I am one person that gets affected by this. So I can imagine every single human gets affected by this, some people more than others. So that is probably what happened. Just stop saying it's a satanic event. You know, it's letting too many humans off, in my opinion, by saying that it was a spiritual, satanic, demonic event. That's all. I reckon Travis may need to go to jail. He saw it with his own eyes, and I just don't think he can get out of this one. Sorry, pal. If everybody else in the production was complicit, you were complicit. There is many people that probably need to go to jail, not just Travis, because this needs to show the world. You can't do half-assed events without proper security, without proper safety measures, without people checking sound levels for humans, etc., etc., etc. But anyway, Kanye wrote this song for you guys.
Guess who's going to jail tonight? Guess who's going to jail tonight?
Anyways, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. And remember, use all your jazzy little hands over all the jazzy little buttons, because you know it makes one little koala really, really happy. And if you sub, please let me know, because I want to send you 50 years of free good vibes. I mean, these days, that is a bloody bargain. Cheers, ballers!
It ain't all good. That's true. Things ain't going like they should. It's all on you. I don't care about what you think you see.